Welcome back everyone on this very dark gray day. We're starting off this vlog immediately with my dog making a lot of noises in the background, but let's just pretend she's not there. So for this video, I decided to do something a little bit different. I've been doing quite a lot of concept vlogs where my TBR is planned out for me. Like I did a video recently where I read horror books, or I did a video where I read dark romance. So for this one, I kind of want to try doing mood reading. I'm more of the kind of reader that I will pick up a book when I feel like I'm in the mood for it. I feel like a lot of booktubers are not doing that these days. So I just want to pick up something where I'm just like, am I in the mood for this? Yeah. Am I in the frame to read something sad? Yes. Do I want to read romance? Yes. So I kind of want this to be a little bit chaotic. Future editing Lexi knows exactly what I have picked for this vlog, but present me, I don't know what I'm reading. I will say that the first thing that I want to read right off the bat is "And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer" by Frederick Buck. I really hope that I got the title of that book right because it's very long, and this I heard is kind of a sad book. And I will say, not a lot of books make me cry or make me feel sad. There are books where I have an interest in the character and I get attached to them, but there haven't been many books that have made me sad or made me cry. But I heard that this one is a cry fest. If there's any book that's gonna make me cry or feel sad, I feel like it's this one. So that's the one that I want to read right off the bat, and then after I finish reading that one, I'll see what I'm in the mood for next. And I will say that the audiobook for "And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer" is an hour long, and I will be listening to that on audio. So let's just go ahead and get started on that one, and I will check back in once I am done. My prescription is so thick that I had to get different types of frames just to hold them up with my face. I think we might be done with getting a new pair of glasses every year. I might just need to get LASIK from here on out. I've had glasses since I was 8 or 9 years old. So it's been quite some time now as an adult to have glasses, but that's not why we're here. I have finished "And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer." I think that's the name of the book, but I finished it and it was really sad. I don't cry in books really like ever, and I didn't cry reading this book, but it made me feel very sad. As I also have a medical condition, and it's not, obviously it's not dementia, but like my medical condition does affect my neurology in my brain, and it's a neurological disorder. So I really felt for this family and really felt for the grandson and the grandfather in this story. It was really sad, quite honestly. And it didn't take that long to read the audiobook. The audiobook was like an hour and 9 minutes, and I listened to it at 2 times speed. And so now I'm kind of sad, and I want a little bit of a pick-me-up and to read something a bit differently. So let me just go on Goodreads and see what's on my shelves, my TBR shelves, and see what is just calling out to me right now. Kind of want to read something that's a little bit more light in subject matter. So the thing that's calling to me right now as I'm just like looking through my want to read or my TBR shelf is "The Loneliest Girl in the Universe" by Lauren James. Now, I think I put this on my TBR because it was sci-fi, and sci-fi is not a genre that I have been leaning forward towards this year. So I want to try sci-fi because I used to be a pretty huge sci-fi reader. And so let's just give that one a shot and see if I like it. Now, just reading the premise off Goodreads, it's telling me that "The Loneliest Girl in the Universe" is about this girl that is on a spaceship going to a new planet, or Earth 2, and things are not the way that it seems to be. So I'm curious as to what that means. It does say in Goodreads that it's sci-fi horror, and I don't think that I've read a sci-fi horror book this year, but that's what we're gonna try. We're gonna try "The Loneliest Girl in the Universe," and we're going to continue trying to finish up my laundry and fold stuff away. And so yeah, that is it. Let me start that book. All right, besties, it's been many hours later, and I'm halfway through "The Loneliest Girl in the Universe," and I like it. See, here's the thing with this book. The writing is very simple, and that makes sense because it's told in first-person narrative, so we're hearing the story from our main characters. Her name's Romy, her point of view, and so obviously it's going to be very simplistic because she's a teenager. So I don't think I said what the premise of the story is, but What the story is based on is that we have, in the past, NASA decided to send this spaceship with a group of astronauts that's in like sleeping pods, and 2 of them are awake to make sure that everything goes fine with the ship, and they're sending them to a new planet that they found that will become Earth 2. So they're on their way there, and unfortunately those 2 astronauts that were taking care of all the other astronauts that were in like hibernation, the woman got pregnant and decided to keep that baby. That baby is born, that baby has grown up. Unfortunately, the 2 original astronauts that were sent up, they passed away, and something else happened to all the astronauts that are in hibernation. So Romy is left alone on this spaceship, and she is, at this point, she's a teenager. I think she's like 15 or 16 years old, and she is taking care of the ship all by herself, and she has contact with Earth. She has like contact with a therapist on Earth to like make sure that she doesn't mentally go like crazy. And unfortunately, one day they tell her like, okay, we're sending you another ship, like a more like advanced ship that's gonna meet you along the way, and along the way to Earth 2. But then they lose contact with NASA. The only person that Romy has to contact with or to speak to is the person that's on that second, more advanced spaceship, and she just calls him Jay in the book. And so they have communication and they start to develop feelings, but I have a feeling that things are not as they are. I have a feeling someone is a lion. It's either people on Earth or the person that's on that second ship. But where I kind of am with the story is that I'm halfway through, so they've obviously kind of like developed feelings for each other, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to finish it today. It does read really fast, so I've only been reading for a couple hours, but I don't know if I'm going to finish this today. I will for sure be finishing it tomorrow, and then after that, like I said, we're mood reading here. I'll see what I want to pick up, but I like it so far. I think this would be considered YA, but it doesn't read what it's giving more of. It's kind of like giving a simpler, more plain version in terms of writing than The Martian, and I really like The Martian. So yeah, we shall see where the story is going. That's it. That's all I have to update you on for right now. And the next update you'll see from me is tomorrow. Okay, besties. I'm coming to you with an update. I'm also coming to you with really wet hair because I took a shower. I figured in this clip I would try to make myself less ugly, but obviously I just came out of the shower, so I am having wet hair and I am looking quite ugly. But that's beside the point. What I'm trying to say is that I have finished The Loneliest Girl in the Universe, and I liked it. I'm not sure if I'm going to give this book 4 or 5 stars. I gotta marinate on that a little bit, but what I did like about this is that it read super fast. Like, I read it in 2 sittings. I could have done it in 1 sitting, but I didn't feel like staying up all night to do that. But I really like this. The plot twist, I didn't see coming. I did not see it coming at all. I mean, I kind of had a suspicion that that second ship, that second more advanced ship that I was telling you guys about, there was something shady going on there, and there was something shady happening there. But it was more twisty than what I thought it was going to be. So I really like it. I highly recommend this, especially if you're trying to get back into fantasy or you want something fantasy light. This could be a good one to pick up. It is, I think, YA, but it's YA done well. And there's really only 2 characters that you're following. You're following Romy, and then you're following Jay, who's on the more advanced ship. So other than that, I really liked it. And so then we're moving on to the next book. After reading the Loneliest Girl in the Universe, I'm kind of feeling romance. I'm telling you, I'm truly going with the feels here and the vibes that I'm trying to vibe with, and I'm vibing romance. I want something with a lot of smut, and so I'm thinking of picking up the first book in the 4 Horsemen quadruple. Is that what we're calling books with 4 books in the series? I'm not quite sure. So we're gonna pick that one up. What I've heard about it is that it is, so the first book is based off of Pestilence. So we have Pestilence who's come to Earth and he's wreaking pestilence on the planet. And he apparently falls in love with this woman, and I'm hearing that there's a twist in it. So that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. So we're just gonna go with it, and we're just gonna vibe with that and see how that book is going to be like. I really don't know anything about this book other than what I just told you guys, so let's just get right into it. Okay guys, it's been an hour later and I am about 40-ish pages into Pestilence. And I gotta say, I like it so far. What is the problem, my child? My dog is just, she doesn't like it when I talk. She will jump off the bed. She was just jumping off everywhere, but she just doesn't like it when I talk. Anyway, so what I was saying, I'm 40-ish pages into the book and I like it so far. There has been no smut yet, but like that's to be expected. Like we have to have the build up to that. But I have more to tell you on what this book is about. So we're set in kind of like the end of the world time. So apparently Pestilence has come down into the world. We're in Canada, by the way. Pestilence has come down and he's spreading his plague. But we meet Sarah and a bunch of her fellow firefighters. She's a firefighter, obviously. And they're drawing short sticks to see who is going to be the one to shoot Pestilence. So obviously Sarah, our main character, she draws the short stick. And so then she decides, like everybody else like disappears. So then she kind of hangs back. And then when Pestilence isn't paying attention, she shoots in it and sets him on fire. So she's assuming that he's dead, that he's gone, and she's like, oh my god, I can rest now. So she goes back into her tent, and then she wakes up and sees that Pestilence has like regenerated his body, because obviously she's now learned that he can't die. He's regenerated his body. He decides to take her as prisoner, and he's like, I'm gonna make you suffer. You made me suffer through that killing that you just did to me. Now I'm gonna make you suffer. So now they're kind of just like traveling the world as he starts to spread the plague. They're still in Canada though, I think. But I like it so far. There's kind of like a heavy religious subtext in this book, which I don't know how I feel about that, because I used to be an ex-Christian. It's a whole story. It's a whole story. But we're gonna see how the rest of this book goes. It's literally been like an hour later and my hair is starting to dry. As you can see here, my hair is quite curly, and that's kind of unfortunate for me because I've always been the kind of person that had stick straight hair. My older sister does have straight hair and so does my younger brother. My younger sister and I are the only one that have curly hair. So my hair is long and it's kind of thick. And so this is literally gonna take me, what? Oh, up you go. So my hair is literally gonna take like all day to dry unless I blow dry it. Like literally, like especially the back of my head, that will take forever to dry. Yeah, let me just get back into reading Pestilence. I don't know if I'm gonna blow dry my hair or not. I kind of fix it and make it look less ugly, but we'll see. And here's an up close of May. We'll be back later, probably when I'm done with the book. Okay, we're gonna go use the bathroom. I see, you gotta go use the bathroom. You gotta go use the bathroom. Yes, I am looking at you. It's cold outside. Run for me, run for me, run for me. Here you go. You don't want it? You don't want it? Okay, fine. Okay, friends, it's a different day, different outfit. I have now finished Pestilence. What do I have to say about Pestilence? Somebody's crying because they're not with me. I finished Pestilence. To be quite honest, it was just okay. It was just okay. I was expecting smut. I think I said that when I picked up this book. And there was very little smut in this book. Oh, we just got to resituate you. There's very little smut in this book. I think we were more than halfway through, or maybe 3/4 of the way through, before there was any kind of kissing, before there was any kind of physical touching. Where do you want to be? We were more than halfway through the book before there was any kind of touching or any kind of kissing, and I feel like for a book that's kind of advertising itself as a romance, it shouldn't take us that long. Also, my other issue with this book is that there was a lot of like odd religious subtext that I just wasn't into. I had a hard time believing that our main character Sarah was falling in love with this deity. He said that he wasn't human, that he was more of like an entity, and that he was like very otherworldly, but he was taking a human form to be pestilence, what humans recognize. And I just had a hard time feeling that deity or this otherworldly thing was gonna fall in love with the human. And pestilence was steadfast on his tasks. And I just had such an issue with the task that he was carrying out. He was kind of heartless. The only thing that stopped him was his love for Sarah. I don't know. If I had to rate this book right now, I would rate it 3 stars maybe, or maybe 2 stars. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to pick up the second book in the series, which is War. I mean, obviously there's 4 books in the series, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Not sure if this is something that I want to continue with. I could see that being pestilence, it's kind of a different story because he just needs to walk around and start killing people. And I could see War being more of a malevolent character, but again, I'm just not sure if I want to continue with the series. And again, there was very little smut in the story. So what are we here for? I was here for smut, and there was very little. So that's kind of my wrap up on pestilence. And just to wrap up this video, in all, the first book that I picked up was And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. I think so, that's the title of it. I always mess it up. And that one is getting 3 stars from me. I feel like I can't rate it like a 4 or 5 stars because the book was so short. It was an hour-long audiobook, and it was more of kind of like a short story, I would say, than a book. It did make me kind of tear up here and there. It made me a little bit sad. And I did like it, but I don't think that it's something that deserves 4 or 5 stars. And then the next book I read for this mood reading kind of concept is The Loneliest Girl in the Universe. And I really did like that book. I feel like I'm going to rate that book 4 stars. I'm kind of shocked because I know that this is YA, but because we're focusing on mainly just 2 characters, we're focusing on Romy and we're focusing on Jay, the guy that was on that second ship, it kind of limited our perspective of like the YA-ness of it all. So I enjoyed it, and it was written like appropriately because we were following Romy and she was like 15 or 16. Like I expected her to come across as like immature, or her to come across as kind of like plain or simple in her writing, and that makes sense for her age. For this book, I'm going to give it 4 stars because I really liked it. I liked the twists and turns that it took towards the end of it. And then again, just to circle back to pestilence, I think I'm going to rate that 3 stars. I always say in my videos like what I'm going to rate these books, but I stew on it a little bit. So whatever I'm saying here might not be actually what I'm rating it on Goodreads, just for you guys to know. So I think that's it. My dog is chasing her tail, and she's making a little noise in the background. And I think it's just time for me to put this vlog away for right now. But I'm very excited for the books that I'm planning on picking up for the rest of this week, and then you will see that vlog next week. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please follow me on Instagram. Please follow me on Goodreads. Links to that will be below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!